Welcome to leanProjax Academy. I'm Sarah, and this is your complete Lean Six Sigma course. Whether you're preparing for a Green Belt certification or you just want to fix broken processes at work, you're in the right place. Everything here is free, hands-on, and mapped to both major exam bodies. One note before we start: this is a Lean Six Sigma course, not a software tutorial. But when a demonstration helps, I'll use the leanProjax platform to show the tools working on real data. In this lesson, what Six Sigma actually is, what Lean adds, and the 5-phase engine behind it all, DMAIC. So what is Six Sigma? At its heart, it's a way of reducing variation. Every process varies, cycle times drift, dimensions wander, invoices go out late. When variation pushes a process beyond what the customer accepts, you get a defect. Six Sigma measures quality as defects per million opportunities. DPMO. A process running at Six Sigma produces just 3.4 defects per million. That's 99.99966% yield. Most businesses run closer to 3 or 4 Sigma, tens of thousands of defects per million. The gap between where you are and Six Sigma, that's rework, scrap, refunds, and overtime. Six Sigma is the discipline of closing that gap with data instead of opinions. Now Lean. Born on Toyota's factory floor, Lean is about flow, getting value to the customer without waste. Lean names 8 wastes: transport, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and unused talent. Six Sigma attacks variation. Lean attacks waste. One makes your process precise, the other makes it fast. That's why they merged into Lean Six Sigma, precision and speed in one method. Your certification exam tests both, and so will your first real project. So how do you actually run a Lean Six Sigma project? Not with a brainstorm and a prayer, with a roadmap. 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, control. DMAIC. Let's walk through it. Define. You frame the problem. A charter states what hurts, what winning looks like, and who's on the team. You capture the voice of the customer and turn it into measurable requirements. Measure. You establish the baseline. You collect data, validate your measurement system, and compute capability. How well the process meets spec today. Analyze. You find the true root causes. Pareto charts show where the pain concentrates. Fishbone diagrams and hypothesis tests separate suspects from culprits. Improve. You design and pilot solutions, prove they work with data, and quantify the benefit. And control. You make it stick. Control charts, response plans, and standard work, so the process doesn't drift back the moment you look away. Every phase ends with a toll gate, a review that says you've earned the right to move on. That's the discipline that separates DMAIC from guesswork. That's the map, but maps come alive on real terrain. So let me show you a real project. I'll use the leanProjax platform for this demonstration. A packaging line with a cycle time problem. Watch how a project comes together in practice. I'll use the leanProjax platform. Every project starts like this: a blank charter, no problem statement, no goal, nothing but structure waiting for you. Over this course, we'll fill every field the right way. And here's where that work leads: the same charter on a finished project. Reduce cycle time on packaging line A. Defined the problem in numbers: 54 seconds per case against a 45-second tact. Measure 50,000 real cycle time measurements and a capability of 0.41. Analyze. 3 causes drive nearly 80% of the delays, with root causes across the classic 6: miss, improve. Quantified recommendations, tracked to implementation, and control. The plan and phase status, watched so the gains don't evaporate. From a blank page to this executive summary, that's the journey of this course. A quick word on certifications. White and yellow belt cover awareness. Green belt, our first course, makes you a practitioner. You'll run projects and pass either the IASSC or IASSC exam. Black belt goes deeper: advanced statistics, design of experiments, and leading change. This channel takes you through green belt first, 33 lessons, then black belt. Every lesson ends with real exam questions, and where the 2 exam bodies differ, I'll flag exactly what each one tests. Let's lock in today's lesson. 2 exam-style questions. Question 1. A process produces 6,210 defects per million opportunities. What sigma level is it operating at? Pause here if you need a moment. That's 4 sigma. Remember the latter. Question 2. In which DMAIC phase do you validate your measurement system? Take a few seconds. Measure. Because if you can't trust the gauge, you can't trust anything downstream. Get both right? You're ready for lesson 1. That's 6 sigma in 10 minutes. Next lesson, the Greenbelt exam, demystified. IASSC versus IASSC, what each costs, how hard they really are, and which one you should take. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in lesson 1.